Oh, I'll have to do that another time. Okay. No, I didn't want to open that. Oh, hello. Actually, I might need that. Hey, got fast immediately. Oh wait, you can't see or hear. Or at least I confirmed it for you. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. There it is. Oh, it's a bit. I know that works. It's a little bit. I don't care how many pulls. Ooh. Okay. Free ego and a dupe. Let's get rid of these two extra tickets I have. Okay. Let me just... Alright, let me put that back up. I swear to God, if I only get Calcet, I'm gonna be mad. Ah! Fucking hell. I have to do... I have to do some shit. I have to do the content so I can get some more pulls. Yeah, let's do it on hard. Ooh. I can work with this. Yeah, he'll be fine. I was exploring a lobotomy core branch when my consciousness. Oh, let me. Yeah, there we go. My consciousness sinks into the depths. The sense of cognition itself, the concept of that form, floats into the shadow of an ever-wandering river, set up as in its currents to nowhere. When we ran into an abnormality, but Sod told us that Onyan's lobotomy core branch should be free of any abnormalities, which had appeared out of nowhere, was more otherworldly than we had encountered so far in our journey, and deep blue. It was fathomless, deep blue, and seemed to have a pool that endlessly drew us into itself. So you can enter this at tutorial. So I'm guessing they're not going to spoil anything, obviously, for later cantos, but by the fact that it mentions Hongyan means that this is post. The canto. Just as I was about to recall this abnormality, a myriad of sceneries and a flood of incalculable thoughts crashed into my mind like waves before ebbing away from its shores. I was already lost in it, in a drift somewhere within my own consciousness when I realized this. I'm going to be adrift. The sensation of my own consciousness floating away is quite the unfamiliar one. I floated about in that strange state for a while. An unfamiliar voice seizes my aimless drifting consciousness. Are you Dante? The fog of my vision clears as the voice breaks through the waves, and a concerned expression comes into view. Yes, I am. Ah, what a relief. Rigo, I think Dante has come too. Who I was about to ask further questions to this stranger with particularly long animal-like ears, but I felt the drowsiness coursing back with the terrifying memories of the dream, rendering me unable to speak. I have to get a hold of myself. After an indeterminate amount of time had passed, I barely managed to wake myself from slumber to get a grasp of my surroundings, only to find myself surrounded by more unfamiliarities. There was that stranger from earlier sitting atop a rock and silently taking in the silence, a young girl who probably saved my life. Wait, so were those animal ears after all? Okay, that's not important right now. Not to prioritize figuring out just where in the world I ended up. So we're standing by the Librarian coastline. How are you feeling? A little out of it, but I'm okay otherwise. Liberia, huh? Yes, we're in Liberia. Liberia? I don't know. Given that we're next to an ocean, maybe I drifted all the way to the Great Lake. Liberia was an unfamiliar name, but that was all I had to go on, given that the city was still full of more unknowns than knowns to me. I radioed your colleagues when you briefly woke up earlier. They'll be here any minute. Let's see. Wait, my colleagues? You must have run into the sinners, then. I forgot my mind immediately cleared as soon as I realized that the sinners were nowhere to be seen. Okay, first of all, she can hear us, which is weird. We'll see what happens. I think so. I ran into them earlier. They said they were looking all over the place for someone with a clock for their head. It was a pretty unique description, so I could tell right away that you were the person they were looking for. So this clock head does come in handy. Gasp. Oh, manageable. Dante? I'd woken up to an unfamiliar place and an unfamiliar face, and in the midst of this all-round sense of displacement, the faces that appeared before me were certainly a sight for sore eyes. Hugo, Honglu, Miss Rabbit here told me she found you unconscious by the ocean, and phew, came as fast as I could. Oh boy, I was worried that something bad might have happened. Glad to see you're doing fine. Were you lost at sea? I don't know. Well, I do think I'm fine, though. I guess not having any way to drink water is finally coming in handy. True. You should go get that checked out, just in case. Wait, your head's waterproof, right? Gregor takes a moment to steady his breathing, then mutters a casual quiver as he lights a cigarette. Well, he doesn't seem that concerned. Maybe we're not actually in that much danger. So, what happened? Where are we? You remember entering the Labanico branch that Shishun told us about? Oh, yeah, we ran into a new abnormality and got sucked into it before we even had the time to chance to do anything. Pfft, man, I really thought that was it for us, especially when we were getting sucked in there too, Manager Bud. But when we came to, just by waking up with our faces down in some ditch, we were all fine without a scratch. Yeah, that was quite the mess when we realized that you'd gone missing. We wanted to search for you immediately, but it took a while before we got a better bearing of where we were. So we're not at U-Corp's Great Lake. Some of us consider that to be a distinct possibility, but it's unlikely. Ishmael was really certain that we're not in District 21. She did concede that we might be in an unknown area within the Great Lake of the outskirts, but that doesn't seem likely either, given that the rabbit-eared lady there said, the outskirts region of the Great Lake, I've met all kinds of people from all over Terra, but I've never met anyone who referred to Ilberia Sea that way. Liberian Sea that way. Terra? Liberia? As I found myself puzzled by these unfamiliar terms, a very obvious question suddenly struck me. Speaking of which, who are you? Huh? Really? You fellas haven't introduced yourself to each other yet? It's just a lot to take in. It's understandable. He did just wake up from a pretty harrowing experience. She's actually, would you like to introduce to do the honors yourself? I'm Amia, the head leader of Rhodes Island. Please just call me Amia. I'm Dante, manager at Limbus Company. I know I'm late, but thanks for saving my big. God damn it. Or a loss. Our manager just cannot handle himself. He just cannot for a second. You think he's got all the aura in the world? No, he's dripped the fuck out, but he loses aura on the daily for it. It seems that this rodeo island is pretty big corporation, but Gregor trails off ominously and scratches his head before continuing with some mild trepidation. This young lady with the rodeo doesn't know what the head is at all. As far as I know, there weren't any organizations in Terra with the same characteristics as the Mr. Gregor, as the one Mr. Gregor explains, at least not with the name like the head. Also, sorry, it's Rhodes Island, not Rodeo? Sorry, Gregor, kind of bad with names. So what you're saying is that we're not in the city anymore. It'd be weird for any higher up at these huge corporations to know less about the head than we do, let alone be completely clueless about it. Well, maybe we've tumbled into a previously undiscovered zone of the outskirts or the ruins, probably. Or maybe we've just found ourselves in a completely different world. If the conjecture was correct, we're in a bigger trouble than I thought. This wasn't like the time we accidentally stranded ourselves in the outskirts via the door in the corridor. I mean, stared at me with some concern as though she felt my distress. I think I can draw a connection to something else that's happening here. Really? Yes, recently anomalous signs and events have been occurring in Liberia ever since a mysterious dimensional door appeared at sea. I don't know what it's tracking. It's moving my hand and I hate that. And it's been said that this dimensional door is connected to something very, very distant, to something that we've never discovered, we've never observed before. So, it seems reasonable to theorize that the dimensional door is now how we managed to cross over to this world. I really would have appreciated Faust's input. Where did all the other sinners go anyway? I bet late on the uptake to be gawking around for the other sinners now, don't you think? There are a settlement near here, where they are helping out with various odds and ends of the village, while taking turns searching for Dante, of course. You know, I never thought about how difficult it would be to search for someone when we're like fish out of water, too. Man, barely got even a wink of sleep since yesterday. Everyone's got to be really tired then, so it's just the two of you here for now? No, Ishmael and Yesung are the other half of the search party. We just happen to be the last group in rotation. They must be searching elsewhere for you to find you, Manager Bud. Woohoo, we've got the news early thanks to Amiya's comms gear, but the other team didn't. Yeah, we got lucky. The other team, well, we don't have any way to get in touch with them, so they'll probably continue their search until their shift is done. Oh, are we talking about the village you mentioned earlier? Oh, right. You've not been here there yet. Huh? I guess it's a bit off the beaten path. Well, we're going to have to read... I don't know that word. With the other sinners anyways, so let's head to the village for now. Something seems to pique Amiya's interest as she fell into a complete silence before carefully speaking up. I'd like to accompany you there. Sure, I don't see why not. You helped us find the Manager Bud, and more importantly, you seem to know a lot more about this place than we do. Haha, I don't actually know Liberia that well either, but I should be able to use some help. They've closed their borders and have practically locked out any foreign influences from affecting them, but I did get a briefing before the mission. Those borders, huh? Then how did you get in, Miss Amiya? You followed Dr. Calcit's directions and illegally crossed the country border. Illegally? Oh, does that mean you crossed the border without obtaining any permissions, Amiya? We had to cross the border somehow in order to investigate how and why the dimensional door came to be. Huh, is it normal for pharmaceutical companies to be doing that? Large pharmaceutical companies often dispatch their agents for missions. Yes, Rhodes Islands is, in essence, a pharmaceutical company researching treatments for people infected with oropathy. But we also work to prevent and assist in the management of various situations that can occur in high-risk areas. High-risk areas, huh? Wait, what about your companions? I doubt you came all the way here on your own. That's we were forced to split up due to certain forces that were in pursuit. Wait, stop. Here's Twitch actually came to a stop and began scanning the surrounding area. Then, there. As we stood about confused, Amiya noticed something, pointed towards the seashore, hidden behind large and cragged rock formations. What are we supposed to, huh? It was... There we saw someone wielding a lengthy greatsword, bickering with two familiar faces. Again, move, you're in the way. You needn't worry as you do. We have had ample experience battling monsters who are much like them. Listen, I'm not worried, come on, better to have 3 fighters than 1, right? Besides, you're the first person we ran into out here, so... We've got a lot of questions to ask. Your son, Israel. Dante, you're unharmed. And here I was getting ready for a 3 days long search. What a relief. We were all worried that you might never be able to find you. Ooh, we managed to find them. Thanks to the help of Miss Amiya here. Amiya? Are you two acquainted? Not a good time for a reunion. I can't wait. It can wait until after we take out the sea monsters. Scotty, are those organisms the seaborns Dr. Cassit mentioned? Yeah, sea terrors, to be specific, the less sophisticated ones among them. And they're probably here for me. Sea terrors? Yeah, the sticky noise is something viscous slithering against the rock. When I turned to face the origin of the unseeing noise, I smelled the heavy, wet stench of brine. The end of my gaze of weird, strange monsters, unlike distortions, unlike anomalies, unlike anything I'd ever seen. It is as though the sea itself was encroaching on the land. I was almost certain that we weren't at the Great Lake, but I'm not so sure anymore. Our experiences with the thick scent of brine that the Great Lake must have put her in a worry mood, as Israel seems a lot more apprehensive about these monsters than anyone else. Do you think those creatures could be whales or mermaids? Oh no, the Great Lake and the outskirts are full of unexplored mysteries after all. Dante, what do your senses say? It's unclear. I'd say the closest comparison I would have is with the whales, but even that's not conclusive. More enemies on the horizon. We should prepare for battle. Doesn't seem like we can talk things out with them though. Let's take them out. Beginning the fight. キューティー。I probably don't need a raid. At least not until I see a big old enemy. I wonder when Doctor will show up. That's gonna be a good question. Oh, it's kind of like Tremor, I guess. Oh wait, it's chained battle, so I can't even stop that one in the back. Oh, you know what? Instead of the Rupture team, I should use my my Fev IDs team, even though they don't work together well. Just cause. To be honest, I kinda do wish that it was both ways, but I also understand why it would be one way. So it's like... Easy. I know that, because I played a little bit of LimbKnights. Ordering enemies have rotated to sea. Good work, everyone. You didn't think I would have to deal with anything remotely like this outside the Great Lake. You can say that again. It would have taken us a whole day if that scatty character didn't occupy the other half while Miss Rabbit helped us from a distance. The battle, I heard a brief hum. When I turned to look at the source, I saw Scatty glaring at me with palpable alarm. Strange people who transform. In the head of a clock? I guess they're both technically true? Oh, there's nothing more than a theory at this point. I think they have a lot to do with the dimensional door that we're supposed to be investigating. Nice to meet you, I guess? I only hear a ticking clock. Oh, that's because only us sinners can hear Dante's voice. Huh? What's up? Oh no, I'm just wondering how Miss Amia seemingly understand Dante. Yeah, what's going on there? Huh? Yeah, it completely flew over my head that I didn't even question how weird it was. Their voice sounds like a ticking clock to me too, but I don't know if almost like I can sense what they're trying to say, what kind of emotions they're trying to convey. The expression reminded me of the Blue Boy Sinclair's past, but I don't quite feel uncanny sensation from Amiya as I felt from them. She has weird powers, we'll just put it like that. She has plot convenience powers so she can understand Dante, let's put it that way. Yes. So she can kind of read me like how Virgilius can, I guess? Well, I don't think it's a bad thing. That's true, it's been a while. A bit of a hassle to always need Faust or Honglu to translate for you, Dante. I'd like to know exactly how she can understand Dante, but I don't think we've got the luxury of time to sit down and figure this out. So are we heading back? Sounds like our plan. It's not like we have no anywhere else to go, right? Oh, and Miss Rabbit here will be tagging along too. She said she would help us find our way back. Glad you to be working with you too. Also, Miss Ishmael and Mr. Honglu. Two took the words right out of my mouth. You've already helped us plenty, and you clearly know a lot more about this place than we do. This journey is long. Perhaps embarking on it the sun's full would be wise. How long's the journey? No idea. It's not like we have a clock with us. I do know that it's not very far, though. We just need to walk along the coastline for a bit. Guide quietly points in my direction. Oh, Dante can't tell us the time because they're not on time. Then why the clock head? I didn't exactly choose to get most of a clock shaped head. We can't answer that. We don't know why. I looked away from Scotty's inquisitive eyes, which were quite solidly fixed on my head. Oh my god, wait. What's caught? Oh, I think it's caught. Okay. Coast of Iberia are hardly good places for people to live. Those things can go anywhere in this world, but they thrive at places that meet the ocean. So how did you people manage to build a village at a place like this? Unless it's called Seabourn or Sea Terrace, yes? Oh, let me guess. You're not one of those ones. Let me have a look. Because if you are, guess what you're gonna have happen? Ready? Oh. Yep. Hey, buddy. Guess what? Yep. Copy. Fresh. Ban. Goodbye. Can't hide from me. Ah. My fucking leg is cramping and I can't have it in a comfy position. Yes, while it is true they had posed certain difficulties, they were hardly the kind of monsters with the strength to bring Scourge and drive out the local populace. Don't judge them based on that brief skirmish. Ah, god damn it. Still fucking cramping. She's just telling us to be on our guard, right? Skitty can be a bit curt, but she's not a bad person. I don't think she said anything wrong. Nothing rules out the existence of stronger variants of these creatures being out there. Skitty's concerns only served to fan my curiosity, but something about her expression communicated that I probably shouldn't pry, so I quickly quickened my pace as we walked to the village. Clock for a head. Oh my god, that's a lot! I'll need to make sure I log in every day just so I can get the get ticket rewards. It hardly looks like a village, more like the ruins of one, isn't it? It does seem like they've done doesn't seem like they've done any proper upkeep to the place, not in a while at least. They really have living. They're really here, living together. Strange building tells the story of a former prosperity from a bygone era. Our steps leave no footprints on the wet, muddy ground. On it, I see a running sign marked with the name Faro Mureto. God, fucking these names. Everywhere I look in this village, I see evidence of a long, silent abandonment. You don't see these kind of abandoned-looking ruins often in the city either. Oh yeah, there's always someone or something out there waiting to capitalize on that free real estate. It's a syndicate or a corporation, and fix it up better than this, at least. So where are the sinners? They are clearing down there, where we were entrapped betwixt a twain of great ships, narrowing winds against our sail. Oh. And that is when young Ishmael, boom, to command most resident. Say no more. I didn't even have to try to search for that. That mistakenly sonorous and familiar voice echoing triumphantly between the empty buildings. That's Don Quixote's voice when she's sharing her adventurous tales. She was standing atop a low podium like an actor on a stage, regaling a group of people in rags with tales of our adventures like a travelling thespian. Answers ye dogs, Osmonds, 'tis the moment I, Ishmael, the first mate of this vessel, Mephistopheles, will navigate. Ugh. Stop. Hold on. Just what do you think you're doing? Young Ishmael, unhand my mouth, for I was about to regale them with the most fantastic tales of our adventures at the great Manager Squire. Manager Squire. Verily thou hast returned with Manager Squire's Finito. What? They found Clockhead? A burning clock for a head? When I was a child, I heard a story about a legendary Sarkaz with a flaming head. I did. Question. I need to go find a friend. What the fuck is the Sarkaz? Hang on. Shadow. What's a Sarkaz? Why would someone like this visit a humble village? While their exterior may carry elements that inspire fear in some, there is no cause for alarm. Yeah, they might look like that, but they're Dante, our manager, and the rest are... Oh, hello. I'm sorry, who are you two? They're two very nice people that helped us find Dante. This is Miss Armia, leader of Rhodes Island. And this is Miss Scotty, their operator. They'll be coming along with us for a little while. Yeah, with us? We believe that the dimensional door, which we at Rhode Island are investigating, has something to do with why you suddenly woke up here in Iberia. Asomnia was bringing the sinners up to speed. The villagers who were staring at us curiously approached us. Did our conversation manage to convince them that we are not afraid? I'm sure, so I hope so. You're friends of our saviour. Saviours? Verily, 'tis quite the grand title. Yet that is indeed the word by which we addressed. To be more precise, by saviours, they are referring to how Faustina noticed. Faust gave me a light nod when we made eye contact, but I could tell that her lips were drawing a very, very subtle smiling arc. So I'm guessing something did happen. They were quite mistrustful upon our initial arrival. What business do outsiders have here? What if they're from the Inquisition? Oh no, what do we do? After all we went to get here. Calm yourselves, everyone. None of them are carrying what appears to be their scriptures or lamps. Let's first try to see who they are. And I don't think they're going to trust us anytime soon. They're all old Crumagons. That's STNC and PTSD. You can't say that, Ryoshu. We can't pillage their storage depots. It looks like they already have it hard enough as it is. I don't think STNC is a good way to get started either. Should we just find help elsewhere? Just look at how thin their arms are. I don't think they're in any shape to help us out. Perhaps we could inquire as to our whereabouts ere we are to decide our logic. Well, the landscape is certainly reminiscent of UCorp, but I don't recall seeing or learning about any place that looks like this. Though I can't say I've been to every corner of UCorp. I ask again, what business do outsiders have here? Their fingers are tightening around the grips of their weapons. Prolonged silence will most likely turn this into a hostile encounter. We can't have that. Hi, we're from the Limbknights Company. We're fixers of justice. Yeah, that's... Wait, do you know when to keep it down? Fixers? That over there is a ship blueprint, isn't it? Are you looking to repair a vessel by any chance? All these construction materials seem to suggest so. Chief, this does not concern you. It's something a mere outsider can understand. Curious, I've never seen an energy source like this before. Have you run the tests to rule out any stability issues? It seems the power to power the heat exchanger via some method comparable to utilization of fusion energy. Have you any thoughts on this, Miss Faust? This structure is somewhat old-fashioned, but there certainly are inspired parts to this design. Particularly with the usage of the core energy source. While its stability would need to be further studied, this technology seems to be incredibly energy efficient. You identified all that by merely glancing at this blueprint? You must be the village chief then. If so, I have a proposition for you. In return for assisting in their ship repair, we promised a ride on their vessel. Miss Faust has theorized that perhaps by going out to sea, we will be able to find a way to return to whence we came. Does that mean we can find our way back somewhere out there in the sea? Nothing is certain yet, Dante. At this moment, we are working based on a hunch. A hunch? Sensing the implicit omens in her choice of words, I slowly turned around to look at Faust, who nodded solemnly in response. If we're really in a different world, even her Gestalshus has to be. No issues were encountered in the repair process. Faust smiles faintly as she looks around, then she pulls me in via the hams. She whispers in... Oh god, I can see the art already. Fuck. Low voice. My connection to Gestalshus is currently operating at suboptimal levels, Dante. So it's still connected at least. Indeed, it is. However, even exchanges of simple information are taking up to dozens of hours by current calculations. Is this a warp trace situation? Because we're in a different dimension? The cores should be identical. We have been connected to an unidentified, unprecedentable dimension. However, Faust is aware that the pathway to our original dimension is yet to close this time, unlike the situation back aboard the warp train. So to get back to where we came from, indeed, traveling through the pathway is the most feasible solution. And from that, you came up with the whole plan to repair the ship and sail out to sea. Yes, well, I am also a genius after all. Conjecture that we probably came through the dimensional door of source. Looks like that dimensional door might be what Faust is looking for. With high likelihood, yes. At least there's a way back. I'm finding myself coming down a little. But speaking of which, when do you think we can wrap up the repair job? As fortune should have it, a majority of the most time-consuming parts of the repair have already been completed by the locals. It shouldn't take us more than a day or two to get the core parts ship-shape again, Executive Manager. Well, we'll be staying here for a few more days then. How did you manage last night? Well, like I said, we've been keeping ourselves busy looking for you the whole time. We took turns helping with the repairs and resting, but I doubt any of us got proper night's rest. Still, we weren't cold thanks to the villagers who kept the fire going for us all night. Not to mention how they helped us a ton with the local map they drew us. Oh, also, Chief handed us this earlier. What's it for? Oh, it looks like a sack to collect water. Give it here. I know how to get that installed. It must be to repay Miss Faust and Miss Otis' efforts at repairing their ship. Yet, the service they provide us is certainly quite generous, even when taking the transactional nature into account. You're really giving us the best treatment they can, huh? As for food, we managed to find ourselves with some cookies and bread already keys in their pockets. They don't want to eat into their food supply when they're already pretty tight, you know. She carries enough cookies and bread for 12 Of course. Oh, fucking Roger. It's almost some nosh. Those dried fish things, but refused. I ain't talking about taking food from the needy. No need to concern yourselves so much with our hospitality. You have done more than enough to earn your keep. I turned around and looked at the source of the low, rumbling voice and saw an old man in the outfit that seems to distinguish itself amongst the other villagers. There you are, Chief. Is there a place for us to stay tonight? We do have places to shelter from the musty humidity at the very least. There's an empty building there, so feel free to occupy it for the night. Oh, are you sure? I mean, I don't mind sleeping in the streets myself. You speak for yourself. I've been looking forward to sleeping with a roof over my head since like yesterday. You'll catch a cold sleeping in the elements in this environment, which is fine by me for the rest of you, but we cannot afford to have the executive manager or our honored guests suffer that fate. Honored guests? Hey, I heard what happened from the four who left in search of the executive manager. First, I would like to begin by imparting my infinite gratitude to you for finding and rescuing the executive manager. First of all, I hear that you are a leader at a pharmaceutical company. This acquaintance shall certainly come in handy in case of our stay becomes significantly prolonged. Ha ha ha. Yeah, I'm just surprised by her boldness to say something so materialistic when they're standing right there. Can I stay in your village too? The village chief took a brief glance at the hems of her wrists, then nodded. Welcome to Mirtoi. You're welcome to stay as long as you want. And please do let me know if you find yourselves without food. Our food supply may be tight indeed, but we have enough to share with those who helped repair the vessel. Oh, you better not go back on your word, Lola. I'm wondering what this kind of local delicacies away. Dried fish like they were eating earlier, maybe? Hey, Chief, what is it? Just how are you surviving out here by the sea? Perhaps the question of how we are surviving may be somewhat misdirected. For we are only pursuing every possible avenue because we must survive. Responds to Scuddy perceived Sally with a hearty smile. After leaving some firewood for the night, he left. I'm going. I can't learn much more from here. Oh, you're going somewhere out this hour? Scuddy, does this have something to do with the coast? I remember what you said before we got to the village. Something about how the coasts are hardly good places to live in. Nothing wants to know if this has something to do with the coasts. Do you understand the Aegir language? Aegir language? Oh no. Dante, Scotty just spoke in Aegirian. I couldn't understand a word of Scotty and the chief's conversation because I don't speak Aegirian. It may only be that we're through the it may only be that there were enough lexical similarities between one of the city languages and the language Scotty spoke in for them to comprehend the meaning. Weird coincidence? Anyway, I have some things to look into, something you all to sort of see. You still have to tell us about it later. Please remember you're not on a solo mission, Scotty. This is a team effort from Rhode Island. Will do. Leaping off into the night, out of our sights. I'm kind of worried. He's not the best with people, but she's also pretty thoughtful. She'll be okay. Should we head inside? The sun's starting to set already. Oh yeah, we can probably just pick an unlit building and stay there, stay the night there, right? I think I best ignore the mood. We started to turn awkward. We made our way into a nearby unoccupied building. Buildings and rumors of narrow buildings before we came across a hole large enough to house all 15 of us, or so of us. Okay, now we're ready. With the curtains on the window removed, the smoke has an exit. Oh, I thought we were doomed to shut ourselves to sleep with the soaking wet firewood and all. I had no idea that'd work. We just have to get a small fire going underneath it until the wood dries up and catches fire, the downside being all the smoke. It's clear that she has some field experience, unlike some fools I know. I shan't sit here and let her carry all the burden of labour alone. Bequeath upon me the ingredients, young Rodion, for I shall conjure the pots of special fixes soup. You're making soup with cookies and jelly? No. You are not getting anywhere near the kitchen again, not after what you cooked up last time. While I must admit to a certain level of interest, as many of our fellows' viscera are oft racked with intense agony upon ingesting dishes of your making, perhaps it would be wiser that we save the occasion for a safer environment. Right, did you remember we agreed to leave cooking to Mbur or Archie if we were ever in a situation like this, remember? Did we? See, I think it's become sort of an unspoken rule after everything that happened. Remember back during the last year's cooking contest at K-Corp? They were the only two people who managed to get remotely positive reviews. Oh, does that mean we'll get to try Otis cooking once it gets denied? We still have plenty of high-calorie foods like cookies and jellies. Yeah, I find a reason to do something so inefficient. I'm glad to see that everyone's still energetic given the circumstances. It can't be easy to suddenly wake up in an unfamiliar environment. Well, we're all quite used to getting thrown into unfamiliar places. True. Speaking of which, did you manage to reach your colleagues, Anya? Concerned. They might have lost comm devices, or maybe ran into some other trouble. Could they be in danger? I don't know, but I'm sure they're okay. The doctor, Dr. Cowsett. Dr. Cowsett, they're both more than capable enough to look after themselves. Long have the curiosity lingered within me, thus allow me to inquire. Corporations are, by their nature, organizations in pursuit of profit. Yet the activities your corporation resemble those of charity organizations. To Farm's company, is there aught that might exploit this blurred distinction? Ah, I wanted to know too. How come a pharmaceutical company like Rose Island's helping people? Something about what Honglu said brings back unpleasant memories. The horrible experience seen through the cascading of flowing tears in the face of suffering, the embodiment of career that left the terrible wound in Honglu's fathoms. The pharmaceutical companies I've seen in my journey were corporations that, despite possessing the capacity to heal, chose to obsess over the profit it can provide. There are many in Terra who are suffering from a disease. The disease crystallizes you. It spreads deeper and deeper into the infected's internal organs, eventually culminating in their death. It's called oropathy. Anya showed me the back of her right hand, dotted by what appeared to be obsidian crystallization. Its appearance reminds me of the biotreatments from the Black Streets, but there was something more to it. Something more restless, more sinister. It's a terrible, painful disease, but there haven't been any recorded cases of full recovery. But there's an even worse problem. Pray tell, what could possibly be worse than an incurable deadly disease? Well, it varies region by region. Discrimination against the infected is widespread across Terra. Those who suffer from it must face unfair treatment. Your sign begins with a dark expression. Some are quarantined in places with terrible inhumane conditions, and there have been massacres too. I don't mean to be callous, but is this oropathy highly contagious? No, there have not been any recorded cases of infection by contact as long as the subjects are alive. But when the infected dies, the crystal grows on their body, decay and turn to dust, scattering which is what spreads the plague. Then barring environments like active battlefields where casualties are to be expected, staying within close proximity of the infected in daily life seems to pose hardly any risk. So what's the problem then? They already passed the point of caring about what the problem is. Once people start feeling iffy, all logic goes out the window. And Rose Island's goal has to be, yes, it's important to develop a cure for oropathy, but I think what really matters is that we can change the circumstances for the better for the infected. That's not going to be easy endeavor, but this is what gives your effort more meaning. I hope you can achieve the goal, Amiya. I really do. So, the city, this world. We both live in worlds full of surprises, don't we? What kind of world do you come from, this city? What kind of place is this city anyway? The kind of place with too many pointless rules? The kind of place where the moment you think, isn't this too much, you see something even worse? Try as I might, I couldn't think of a single positive thing about the city. I mean, you haven't seen the worlds of it, Dante? But yes, there is not a single thing about the city that is nice. The citizens seem to be in agreement, as most of what came after was quite scathing. The kind of place where good deeds rarely even go unpunished. But sympathy's a good attitude to have if you like getting stabbed in the back. Nothing good ever works out there. It's a shithole. It's an irrational place full of absurdities. Absurdity is omnipresent. Therefore, it is not a subject by which one should be aggrieved. We can at least grouse about them, though. I mean, it's not the only thing we can do. It would be more correct to experience more and acclimatize just oneself to it instead of complaining. You did say something like that last time. This is the mood was starting to turn sour. Don Quixote shattered through the awkwardness. Verily, never a day goeth by untarnished by villains and their foul deeds. Yet worry thee not. For wherewith evil rises, so does vistas of justice too. Don Quixote jumped to her seat and Patrick shook her fist, which was followed by a heavy crack and the sound of small pebbles tumbling down. Don Quixote, watch out! Whoa! And from behind the wall, she accidentally broke with the visage of a villager appeared to stare back at Don Quixote. It appeared that she was eating something out of a can while reading a book. Fairest thou? Fairest thou foot? You gotta apologize first. Sorry, lass seems a toddy too hyper today. Apologies, for I hardly expected the wall to crumble with such ease. Art thou unhurt? Any injuries? To pray? Tell? To what? Forget the apology. I would want to know what happens next. The fixers of justice rose up to do what? Hast thou come to hear the tale of fixers? I don't know about coming to ask, given how much Don Quixote was the one who punched the wall down. Oh, is it too late? An hour? I don't mind waiting till morning if you want to sleep. Nay, not at all. 'Tis quite early. An hour for tales. In fact, prithee, seat thyself here. You're ungovernable fool. You're ungovernable fool. Calm down. We don't even know who she is. And don't you forget to share those fixer tales over there in the corner to not disturb our sleep. Thou makest a request most untenable. These tales deserve to be announced to the world with great gusto from the center. Yeah, that's the best way to hear these kinds of stories. We should probably introduce ourselves to each other first. My name's Mayers. How should I put this? Did you meet the village chief earlier during the day? He's my Gramps. Oh, that nice guy? So you had a granddaughter? Yet I have not seen you once, Miss Mayers, under the sun. Cheers. Hello, Mandarin. It's been a bit. How you been? The rest all. You're right. I thought the village was completely dry of any young blood. Like you already said, while we didn't see mayors out there, there wasn't anyone else in the village we could comfortably call young. You're saying me Cramps was worrying over nothing and told me to stay put inside? Going on and on about the dangers of the outsiders that the outsiders pose in everything. You need a rest or... Are you? Bit tired from work. Not much. We've got so many games to play. I've got to finish up this. I gotta go play fucking Silk Song. I want to play more Deadlock in fucking Borderlands 4. Can't stream Borderlands 4, which sucks because it's just too much for my PC and streaming. If I could stream Borderlands 4, I would, but I can't. So. Yeah. The game. Yeah, it's a little bit chunky. I can run it fine without stream. It's just like, well, actually, it's fine on my end when I'm playing it. Maybe it goes down in frame rate a bit, but like on stream, it's so bad. It's crazy. Seems like they do not give full faith to survivors, saviors. There are things you cannot share even with whom you trust your life, though I would like to know why. My, so there are a bunch of other kids who are stuck indoors in this village? No, there isn't anyone around my age in the village at all. If that's the case, I guess I can understand why they'd be overprotective. We do? I played that once in a lifetime, and I fucking hate it. Well, I eventually grew to hate it. Anyways, it's our turn. We are... I'm good. I heard enough to get an idea. You did? Oh, pray, how didst thou hear us? Via our listening device, most secret upon our chamber? May it tucked aside of the wall, the part of the that was standing away, that was still standing anyway, and smiled on her. Ironically, that's how perfect. I can hear pretty much everything Don Quixote, right? Everything Don Quixote practically sang during the day. Barely, I see. I think you could really do with some sense of embarrassment for once. Fear it off. Well, I guess that's good enough for a self-introduction, so... Catherine regale me with the tale of fixes who bring justice to the evils of the city? Oh, you're talking about... Yeah, I'm using my 3D model. I still have my 2D one, but that's when I'm more so chilling. But because it's Limbus Day, I'm not chilling as much. When I'm playing Silk Song, like when I'm playing games that I might play more than once, like when I start getting into like games that take really long, I sometimes just swap over to 2D because I'm just like so exhausted from work. I just need to take a break sometimes. And 3D is like something I can just pull out whenever I'm more interested, like with Limbus, where I've got to be reading everything. What do you mean by that? Oh, you mean like... What do you mean by this? What did you mean by this? Oh my god, I'm so tired. What do you mean by... Oh, you're talking about me being the spider. I'm surprised you didn't get that for the longest time. That's why I need to get a new 2D or the PNG. Because like the PNG has a problem where you can't even tell what's talking. because it doesn't have like an effect on the mount. It doesn't have an effect surrounding the spider head, so that it draws your eye to it, so that you can tell that it's the one talking, not the girl. Because in my 2D model, it's the same. She doesn't talk. Well, no, even in, like, I can do this. Come on. There we go. I can have it sitting on their head instead. And have free hands. Although the tracking on this is a little bit shitty. Because it keeps tracking something with my right arm, even though I'm not moving it. So like it sometimes lifts up on the model, and it's really annoying. Yes. I'm showing every now and then. Yeah. Glad to see you. It's been a bit. Oh my god, you've followed me for a year now. Fucking hell. That's crazy. I was actually looking at it. I was like, hasn't it been a year? Because I started last year. And that's when I was playing, I believe it was Path of Exile. At the time. I haven't been too interested in it to go back this way. No, I was just looking. I was like, wait. It's crazy. Because you were like one of the early followers on my stream. So it's like, oh right, yeah. It's fucking crazy. That was a year ago. Kedrogami with the tail fixes city. Indubitably. Then this shall do. I shall regard thee with the tale in which the legendary fixer, the Arc Magnificent herself, the Red Beard hath. I suppose that killed any hope for a good night's sleep. The kip. What? But don't you usually pass out within a minute of you back hitting the hay, no matter how noisy things are? What? You take me for some kind of hibernating bear or something? Look, even I have trouble sleeping when there's noise all over. There. So I'd say bear in hibernation is pretty nondescript though. For all the grumbling and moaning, he turns off before any of us did. Aside from Heathcliff, who began slowing him when he touched the ground, some of the other sitters were fast asleep as well. Massault had entered sleep in his unusual steadfast adherence to the routine, while Faust laid claim to one of the few available cloth sheets as soon as the close of business for the day was confirmed. The sinners who had spent the entire last night searching for me in the unfamiliar land slowly began to fall asleep as well. It was this Fixers' Right Association's first section. Though the night was long, night was no longer young, Don Quixote was still vigorously showing tales of adventures without even a single sign of fatigue. She's not determined to do this until sunrise, is she? Oh, wait, not? Does that mean she's determined to do this until? Yeah, wait, not? Oh, he's hoping she's not going to do it all the way through the night. I guess it's okay since Maya seems to be having fun. As I continued to watch the pair with some mild concern, Amiya, not yet asleep, approached me. This city Miss Don Quixote speaks of seems to be teeming with fixers of justice and exhilarating tales of adventures. Do you actually experience all of them yourselves? No, of course not. Don Quixote's stories are usually those of other famous people, but she's telling it with such vigor that it almost sounds like she was there herself. Well, I guess if you really want to get into it, some of them might be retellings of Don Quixote's personal experiences. Ishmael replied nonchalantly, thinking back to the plays where we were made to watch back in La Mancha land. Well, I think all those stories, even though they're partially true, just go to show you what a ridiculous place it can be. We wouldn't need fixers of justice to begin with. if we really lived in a just world, right? A really good place to live would be quiet and peaceful without someone having to force it. Haha, that's true. I hope there'll come a day when Rose Island can be a normal pharmaceutical company in the future. Something wrong? No, I just thought Miss Mayers and I made a contract. Did she ever hear our conversation? I looked to her direction as well, but all I saw was Mayers excitedly reacting to Don Quixote's tales. Whoa, what happened then? Thus spake Lady Otis, boldly before the soldiers who stood in our path. Thou presumest to stand in our path, servants of our master most unworthy? Otis shall educate you on a matter most maketh. Don Quixote was now retelling the stories of Limbus Company's adventures in Hongyan, and Otis could no longer stand Don Quixote's unintentional alterations of the story, jumped to her feet and shouted, "Damn it, what kind of nonsense are you feeding her? I never said anything like that." Yeah, so we didn't play in Mandarin. Have a good night. Verily contains aspects of this retelling may have been exaggerated. The tales of adventures for you, things are bound to get a bit dry when a story is told too realistically as is, right? You know, nothing, not even anything resembling a proper record or a book remained once the profound silence swept through this village. So I've always had a craving for these kinds of stories. But Iberia doesn't stop Iberians from immigrating, contrary to their tight immigration control. Have you ever thought about leaving this place? It's still a challenge across the border, especially since we are going to have to pass through larger cities that are managed by the Inquisition. You don't seem particularly fond of this Inquisition. Why is that? That's because this village was formed by people who grew tired of living under the Inquisition's rule and fled. Sorry, but what kind of organization is this Inquisition? Yeah, you would be one to ask that question, huh? Oh, buddy. Yeah, I wonder why you asking that, huh? Sinclair asked, face turning cold upon the word, hearing the word Inquisition, and that people fled from it. Yeah, the Mega and Hammer we saw back at Claw aren't the kind of memories that are so easily forgotten. Putting the chaos that the Inquisition is filled with, is what filled the power vacuum once Iberia fell to chaos. That its inquisitors are rapier and lamp-wielding protectors of Iberia's cities from lawlessness. That alone kind of makes them sound like good people, though. Yeah, they are, but they're the Church of the Deep. The Inquisition will go to whatever lengths to deal with incidents related to the church that worships Seaborn. Right, an organization that worships these monsters? It seems that culture's fanaticism is a plague wherever we go. Wherever we go. I feel like the people with all kinds of wrong faiths and beliefs are so common. Yes. Yes. You know that personally, yeah. See, the sea ones are the ones that messed Iberia up. So following their logic, apparently it's okay for them to arrest anyone who seems even remotely connected to them. Are you saying that Iberian is like that because of Seaborns? Those things familiar, I guess they were kind of troublesome to deal with, but they didn't seem that strong. Anyways, it's just what I heard from Gramps, but the Inquisition executed many innocent people in their crusade against the Church of the Deep. For those who proclaimed to be on the side of justice, they seem quite fond of committing such villainy. It seems like a reasonable policy decision to me. It must pose a clear danger to the daily lives of civilians. Yeah, I heard I was the only survivor. Everyone in my family died. You must have had to endure such a long period of pain. Be able to say something like that with such composure. For Iberia, they are heroes who are bringing the land back to its glory days. But to Gramps, they were just oppressors, making his life difficult. That's why we've all come here, fleeing from the Inquisitor's gaze. Yet. Okay. I know what that is. Be right back. I'm gonna be eating. I can't read this, so that's gonna be a problem. I'm gonna need to eat though. I'm just gonna be reading this silently to myself.
군주가 나선다.
보는 눈은 있네요. 여기서 저만큼 의로움을 세우기 위해서라면.
흑수 오필주군께서 모이를 뿌리셨으니
이제야 불어나.
어디서?
잠깐
의르로
명을 받듭니다.
출발합니다. 기차와 같이 달려나가겠소.
I thought it was gonna be some mid-size. You can get it fixed in a day or two. Repairs have already been completed by the villagers. The extent of our repairs efforts only concern a few components within the vessel that villagers could not repair, which shouldn't take us much time. Unless parts that are unfamiliar to us, to Faust, are also malfunctioning, such as the core engine, remaining repairs should be sufficiently managed by Faust. Sure, I don't know why, but something tells me that we're not going to if for too long. Please be thorough about it, just in case. I'd rather not sit in a sinking ship again. The 300 great was enough. You're not worried, Dante. Unlike Mephistopheles' malfunctions of this vessel, buoyancy gear, propeller, steering gear are all operational at capacity. This repair should be much easier than the case with Mephistopheles. He seemed confident enough. It should be safe this time around, right? We're taking that rope to climb the ship? No, there's a lift-like apparatus down here. It should take us to the ship. Its stability was verified yesterday. Let us board the lift. I'm 100% certain, right? The boat is afloat right now, Dante. I don't think it'll be sinking anytime soon. Wouldn't that be nice? Oi, are you two just going to faff about down here? We're heading up now. No, we're going with you. And I went on the bridge. I was greeted by the extravagant interior that was as gaudy as the exterior. This isn't real, God. Is it? Sure is shiny as heck in here. I've got butterflies in my stomach. Yes. Aesthetically satisfying, she says? Oh, wow, okay. But too ostentatious. Not quite my style. Our young Mephi is also quite the excellent vessel, yet I imagine the adventures we could embark on aboard this vessel most lavishly decorated. On one of the control panels, each man walked up to another and interfaced with it before giving a knowing nod. This must be an investigative or research measure of sorts, but it does seem a bit extravagant for one of those, though. No coordinates updating in real time, it seems. Have set it to somewhere out in the middle of the ocean. Maybe it points to a small island? No. Nope, not isle there. Ah, blimey, Lass, you sure know how to sneak up on people. Mayors? Haha, what? Did I actually surprise you? I did ask if you guys were gonna come fix the boat today. So I don't know why, I didn't know you would be here. Why are the coordinates set to this location? There are several undersea cities beneath those coordinates, collectively known as Agia. Gramps' home. I see, understood. What was understood, if I may ask? It is now understood why the promise to repair the ship was sufficient to earn their trust and the title of saviors. What's she on about? Someone get translated? Consolidating and cross-referencing the observed particular circumstances of the village and the statements from the village chief, alongside information garnered from the exchange with mayors, it is possible to gauge that the significance of this ship as the local populace. Of course, while this may constitute a sequence of logical connections to comprehend, to employ any degree of effort to attempt to explain it in a more digestible language would constitute a pursuit of inefficiency. Rather than I implore you, I shall explain it in full. I was wondering when Miss Smartass would start gabbing like that again. So what's she on about? Nicholas' shoulders were relaxed. It didn't seem like he actually was going to swing the bat. He placed it lightly over his shoulders with a sigh. A brief observation of the village seemed to suggest that their subsistence situations were quite dire. Much of their daily sustenance consisted of dried food. Most of them made for long-term storage purposes. Considering that Skadi said about how the coastal areas are full of danger, maybe those dried seafood aren't from around here either. Maybe it's food they packed when they first came to Faro Mureto? Some villages were armed, yeah, and those seafarers weren't exactly that formidable, but given that the state the village is in, I doubt they would have an easier time repelling those monsters. Indeed, and that brings us to the question of sustenance. Right, I get what's going on here. The lass and the granddad are about to visit their hometown, and they're trying to get some food supplies from there to feed the villagers, and to convince them, use the fact that they're from that same neck of the woods or sea, I guess. Oh, so we're not just repairing the ship, we're repairing their food supply plan too. Huh? What's wrong? It's while the expression were rather crude, Heathcliff's summary of the situation was clear. To the point and easily understood. The sinners stared at him with mild surprise. And I did too. What's with the annoying looks? Wait. Oh, you sods. You don't think I'm that dim-witted, do you? Top-notch intuition. It's just that it's been a while since you've shown this side of yourself. Look, but Heathcliff's intuition's always been excellent, and he'd often put together surprisingly accurate conclusions with impressive speed. You know, when you really think about it, it's kind of your fault for, I've been too soft on you lately, haven't I? Oh, get back. No, with those fools out of the conversation, was he correct? But it looks away for the unusual chaos and asked mayors. Honestly, I'm surprised. He was on point. Yeah, food's been running low in the village. At this rate, we won't last another year. But the Agia will, I'm sure they'll welcome us with open arms. I don't want to come off like I'm overly worried, but do you think they'll welcome the others too? Unlike mayors or chief, they're not Agia. I believe they will. Iberia suspects and hates the Agia for no reason. Than that we're from the sea, but Our home cannot have fallen so low as to abandon a group of starving landowners. Who might thou explain us who the Agier are? I had initially thought it to be a reference to a reason, yet it seems to refer to an affiliation of sorts. Maybe there's something like nest dwellers? Though I don't think I've heard of a nest that accepts backstreet people with open arms. Or maybe there used to be some rich folk. If they call them the nest toffs Agia here, then does that make the rabbit ear lass Agia too? Wait, in the world you came from, do they not distinguish between races? That is not entirely true. Delineation between races is a concept that does exist, though I only saw them in the fathoms. There were those terrifying things called the cuckoo spawn. However, as a general rule, it can be said that humans should be the only intelligent life forms in the city. The people of Terra have slightly varying appearances depending on their race, like my Cottisus ears. And I've got pointed ears because I'm Agia, though it's not a characteristic shares. The closest idea to what they are discussing appears to be Don Quixote seemed to struggle to finish her sentence. Marcel stepped in to continue. By context clues and the manner of word usage, including the means of classification, the closest example in our world would be blood fiends, similar to external appearances to humans, different natures, comparable to sapients. It is of my belief that blood fiends are ostracized due to their nature that maketh coexistence with human difficult. Maybe that the Agia are also. I'm sure some of them do possess qualities that make coexistence with others difficult, but they're probably rare. Then wherefore are they made subjects of suspicion and hatred? Well, the language is new, but the idea itself is pretty similar to city folk like us. Think of feathers of fallen wings, kids born in backstreets, people who have replaced their bodies with prosthetics. The form differs, yet in essence, we find the thread. Something about how we keep finding these similarities in ways of our lives despite finding ourselves in a different world with different rules, race, and humans. Not only discomforting. The point is, you guys are doing us a real solid by fixing up the ship. I'll move away from this good conversation, okay? I want to show you the cool parts of the ship. This way. The ship tour may have to wait. The repairs are almost complete, but an issue has arisen. Issue? Wow, that's not reassuring at all. Multiple life forms identified ahead, assumed to be sea terrors. A sea terror horde. The ship's radar system seems to suggest that the vessel is surrendered. They're the same monsters from yesterday? Consider mention, please order us to prepare for battle. Damn it, are they the sea terrors you encountered? They look a bit different, but yeah, probably. There are a lot of them, but if our last experience tells us anything, we should be able to handle this. I mean, please support us in battle like you did yesterday. Can't start fight, young Mayas? I feel like I'm just gonna get in your way. Then guys, find a place to keep Mayas as far as possible from battle. And let's hurry down there. We don't want them down the ship any further. Nice. I'm gonna eat this battle.
제가 괜히 먹을 것들을 사들고 오는 것이 하늘색이 이상하다. 그러게도 이상이요. 이런 부수적인 효과를 기대했었죠. 아시의 이상을 함께 줬다. 이상이. 수감각 하나만큼은 수감자가 되어도 훌륭하겠군.
시간 끌 것 없이
이를 모두가 순들을 그렇게 시원하게 처리해 보는 맛이 묘요. 영혼을 튀우게 하는 게 바람 불어오는데 짓밟아라.
전에 위대한 일격을 기록하는
일기당시
이제야 실력을 좀 내시네요.
너는 못 따라나. 목을 떨궈주마. 넌 후임을 틔울 수도 없게.
괜찮은 공격이네요. 앞으로도 그렇게만 해주세요. 불프대 지원해.
그쪽 방향 아닐 텐데.
여관에 가면 또 한참을 떠드시고. 다리에게 해줄 이야기가 또 늘었군요.
깔끔하게 물었군. 고작 이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나.
여관에 가면 또 한참을 떠드시고.
일기당천.
다리에게 해줄 이야기가 또 늘었군요.
나라도 그렇게 했을지.
무얼 잘못했는지 아는
훌륭하군.
것부터가 시작이랬어.
또 한 줄 길을 남겼군. 핏물진 길일 뿐이지만 세월이 지나면 홍호는 그제야 알게 되겠지. 이 홍루가 무엇을 바꾸었는지를. 만곡된 직선을 직선으로 질주하겠소.
제가 괜히 먹을 것들을 사들고 오는 것이 한세상한테
어느 쪽일지 잘 생각해보라고.
부수적인 효과를 느꼈었죠.
다시의 이 이사
대성공이야. 다른 신나. 노래 들까?
그렇게 시원하게 처리하면 보는 맛이 나는군. 일 처리는 빠르게 하는 편이 덜 답답한 법이지.
혈압도 바로.
본인이 방금 뭘 본 것인가? 엄청나게 강한 일격을! 시간 끌 것 없이
12세기 명한다.
야간의 전투 경험이 쓸모가 없지. 한테
도끼를 붙여
급한 조치.
친구를 도려내라.
승객이
묘요.
태풍 한 방 먹였어.
길을 열어라. 그쪽 방향 아닐 텐데.
괜찮은 공격이네요. 앞으로도 그렇게만 해주세요.
떨어져 치고 남은 어디로?
여관에 가면 또 한참을
자, 어느 쪽일지 잘
다리에게 해줄 이야기가 또 늘었군요. 이제야 실력을
고작
냈네요.
이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나.
얼마나 됐습니까?
지금은 좋았어요.
여관에 가면 또 한참을 떠드시고.
자, 어느 쪽일지
다리에게
잘
해줄 이야기가 또 늘었군요. 이상한 목숨.
전투 감각 하나만큼 수감자가 되어 훌륭하게 나군. 이제
지금은 좋았어요.
도통 알아들을 수 없는 말투만 고치는 나도 좋겠어.
물론
자본 수감자.
거꾸로 제차.
방금 건 아무 쓸모도 없었어. 바보.
다음은 어디로?
우와. 한도 깜짝.
뒷박질출.
말로 고작 이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나.
감동적이지 않을 수 없네. 거칠하지. 살리는 게 이런 구절이 있었지. 어디 보자.
저 해충들을 도려내라.
무얼 잘못했는지 아는 것부터가 시작이랬어.
길을 열어라. 넌 풀어내 튀울 수도 없겠구나. 고작 이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나. 바람 불어오는 대로 짓밟아라.
Mission accomplished.
It's the most yet the transformation of fascination into idolatry is, if I may be frank, not entirely positive. I find them to be uncomfortable. Yes, remind me of whales. Then can they adapt to and to communicate with us? What? Going by everything we heard, I think they sound really smart. Maria's eyes went round at Honglu's suggestion. She brought her hands to her mouth, surprised. It sure was something. I heard that there were seamen who could talk, speak the language of humans regardless of its testament to their intelligence. I can only think of two possibilities as to why they would. One, to communicate with humans, the other to deceive humans. Yeah. What about distortions? Some of them already know how to speak. Distortions are a phenomenon in which humans transform into monstrous forms, first absorbed by the White Knights in Dark Days incident. Therefore, the example is irrelevant to Otis's position. White Knights in Dark Days? She whispered quietly, but as we were standing rather close to her, we all caught on to the hint of joy in her voice. The light in the city, did it really? How have you come across this knowledge, Miss Mayo? Oh, ain't it obvious? We've got the culprit there. Right here, the sorry lass who's been gabbing on with no end. Yeah, she's been talking non-stop all morning about all kinds of stories, hasn't she? No, yet I have not gotten that far. You again? You didn't get so lost in your own stories that you blabbed all about our company's secrets, have you? No, Faye, I would simply not. Now, escorting, Mia stared out to the sea, weary of the sea terrors might start crawling to the surface once again, before turning towards us. To the seaboards are. The sense of self is really, really faint, so I don't think they would be in either category. I think it's possible that they learn human language out of instinct that the power of speech might help them survive. It appears that you, Miss Mayers, are quite expert on the subject of seaboards. The knowledge of them goes beyond what fear for one's survival may yield. Accusation, do you by chance worship the seaboards? I don't worship the seaboards. Seaboards don't have any hopes or wishes, just desire for survival. Miss Mayers, does that mean if seaboards were somehow able to hope? Maybe so. Is that so? The repairs are complete. As we're conversing, Faust ascended from the ship with a neatly organized set of tools borrowed from the village. Repairs complete. I'm guessing repairs are done. Yes, the ship is ready to sail. Did you have a departure time and date in mind? I would prefer if we depart as soon as possible. We do have a set time or anything, but I think we should be able to set sail this late afternoon at earliest. As soon? As you've seen, we don't have a lot to bring with us. By the way, how far out to sea do you guys need to go? You find this dimensional door of sorts. I can see the dimensional door light from the beach at night. It was faint, but given how the light's strong enough to break through the sea fog, we should be able to determine this location somewhere around the coastal waters. Night? The first order of business is to relay the news to the villagers. Yeah, back to the village for now. Is this where we get Doctor?
또 한 줄에 길을 남겼군. 핏물진 길일 뿐이지만
Inquisitor, oh boy.
지나면 홍호는 그제야 알게 되겠지.
There's something going on in the village. Yeah, I hear it too. I hear people shouting and hollering. Enough. A quick count told me that there were approximately 20 people assembled at the village square. Considering its population, that was pretty much the whole village. Who's that over there? Inquisitor. I think we've been found. because dressed in well-kept uniform, was about the same height as Don Quixote. The sword and lamp hanging from her waist sits in stark contrast with the more run-down red circle village. She almost looked like a fixer from the city. Such inquisitors have discovered our village. Did you really think that you could forever stay out of the Inquisitor's gaze, citizen? It is a naive dream. Purpose disappeared from the Inquisition mid interrogations under charges of suspicion of membership within the Church of the Deep. Arsenal location, Salt Flat. The other Inquisitors have informed me that you have been identified next to pirates in its fringes. From a criminal to an outlaw, what a dramatic evolution of your career. But it ends here now. Yeah, including you will be accompanying me to the Inquisition. They have never broken a single law, nor are they outlaws of any kind. They are not like me. They have discarded the Inquisition's authority, evaded the gaze of Iberia, and found this sodden coast to lurk in. Tell me I'm not supposed to find that suspicious. What are you talking about? You can't just start arresting people left and right with a tenuous suspicion like that. You shouldn't. We only wish to live a quiet life, man. Is that so? Then you might find yourself returning to the village one day as long as you're telling the truth. Which is not an option for you, Phoebus. Was the chief really a pirate? Well, yeah, as far as I know, he's been out of the game for a while, and even when he ran with the pirates, all he did was share fine beast jerky to villagers, or carry Agarians between them. Even if you're telling the truth, Mayors, I doubt the Inquisition will be lenient. Well, what now? I have one question to ask. The Inquisitor, is she following the proper legal procedures? I don't know much about the law of Liberia, but Dr. Calcit told us that the words of Inquisitors are pretty much the law here. It is likely that she is following the proper legal procedures. The procedures are precisely what the villagers have fled from, after all, and it is decided. It was just decided Mia's Isha. Senators who were right next to me seem to have picked it up, though. I said, you imagine, we best immediately return to the ship, take command of it, and sail out on our own. It is unwise to involve ourselves in this conflict. What? Are you seriously suggesting that we just let them arrest the villagers? Didn't you hear what the Inquisitor said? It seems quite cut and dry to me. If this is just standard procedure, with no local laws broken, we are in no place to involve ourselves. Our best hope is to take the ship before they impound that too. You can't do that, even if it is standard procedure, even if they're working within the law. It's not you stayed up to hear Maya's story too, didn't you? You know, the Incorp Inquisitors were working within the law too when they came for the village. That was standard procedure too. Why are you double posting? Good band. If anyone had said then, I know what you went through, but I'd rather not take the risk of an unfamiliar environment like this. I'll try my best to figure out how to sail the ship, if I cannot, and I'll have faith in Ishmael to quickly learn its controls. Can't say you're wrong, but I don't know. Neither you nor I know anything about the ocean currents here, Otis. We can get the ship going, but I can't guarantee that we will reach the dimensional door without any trouble. Do you know anything about the sea currents in this region? Not much, but I know the coastal sea somewhat. And you can't fight the Inquisitor directly here in Iberia. Fleeing with the ship might be a better option. What should we do, Dante? Yeah, I guess it's kind of awkward for us to take the ship and go, huh? How about we just try to talk to the Inquisitor then? I think it should at least be, I think we should at least try to hear them out first, them being an Inquisitor and the Chief both. If the session goes well, we might even be able to get the Inquisition support. Like Mr. Honglu said, we should hear them out first, then try to convince them. Rabbit, right? She says. Are you certain that translation was accurate, Sinclair? Right, there's no way Ryoshi would choose anything other than violence, right? Idiots, it's because the other options are pointless. Inquisitor seen us, we are already under suspicion. She will doubtless try to stop us if we flee now. So talk first, lower guard, and then attack. Pretty sure that's not what Amiya meant. Well, if she's already onto us, then we shouldn't give her any excuse to attack us by running away. I was wondering what you were doing there, lurking in the background. A clock-shaped head. Are you from the Columbian Union? They're wearing a clock for the head due to reasons, but they have nothing to do with the Columbian Union. What's the Columbian Union? TikTok, what? Which language are they speaking? Regardless of whether you're from Columbian or not, you're clearly not from Iberia, let alone this village. You're not wrong, but I think there's been a bit of misunderstanding. I'm quite certain you don't know enough about these villages to stand between them and an Inquisitor. How long have you been staying here? 2 days. Brady, don't just tell her that. 2 days? Alright. Enough of this chicanery. Get out of my way, outsider. The attempt appears to have been made on quite the unstable ground. Please lend us your ear for a minute, Inquisitor. I'm Amiya, leader of Rose Island. Yes, I'm aware of Iberia's closed border situation. But I felt hope swelling within me as Amiya began with confidence. Unlike Sinclair, alas, it was short-lived. Thanks to the Inquisitor's quick retort, I couldn't help but place my palm against my forehead at the exchange that followed. Oh, so not only are we dealing with assets of dubious origin, we have an illegal entry as well. That we had to, because the issue demands urgency, and I have been brazenly crossed the border, didn't you? I don't know how urgent the issue could be, but I doubt it's anything more significant than the situation at hand for Iberia and its Inquisition. The High Inquisitor is handling the Rhode Island issue. Stay put and wait the consequences while he and that chatty med doctor of yours talk it out. Do you know that your treatment may depend on her negotiation skills? As for the chief, I understand you have the right to arrest him, as he is a fugitive who has fled in the middle of an interrogation and has been sailing with the pirates. It is an inhumane treatment to arrest the rest of the villagers as well. Inhumane? This decision is well within the rights bestowed upon the Inquisition. They lived for years right next to the highly suspicious Argia. The Inquisition must investigate the rest of them as well to verify whether they have committed any acts of treason against our laws. This isn't going anywhere, is it? Listen, they've been surviving for years upon years by the coast without the proper protection of the Inquisition, and that simply cannot make sense. Oi, I think I've heard enough from you. Ain't it funny how you're blaming them for what is essentially a failure of your responsibilities? And now you roll up here only to go, they shouldn't be alive, I'm arresting them all. What, are you saying these people should all be dead or something? I am. There is no other way to cut it. People simply shouldn't be able to survive in a place like this, not for this long. As Elizabeth began striding forward. That's it. As if you ever so much as touch a tip on a single villager's hair, please calm yourself, Heathcliff. But Hongley stepped in between them. Get your bloody hands off me, I've had enough of her. Continuing to threaten her will only cause something irrevocably bad to happen. I believe you know that yourself, Heathcliff. What are you suggesting, then? You're clearly not making any progress by trying to talk this out. Excuse me, Mr. Inquisitor, but do you mean that the people shouldn't be able to survive in a place like this? I mean, literally, even by some miracle that they actually do survive, they shouldn't at least be suffering from endless hunger, struggling to their wits' end at the inevitability of the calamity, but they look too healthy. The heck? Shouldn't you be applauding them for managing to survive through so much hardship? I'm an Inquisitor. I'm not some crazy person on a power high who goes around accosting and arresting civilians of Iberia straight to the gallows, okay? I've more than enough probable causes to take them in for interrogation. It's just I don't have the time or energy to explain every single one of them to you outsiders. No judgment, whichever way that may be, after a proper investigation. So stop it with obstruction of justice. Dante, without the full picture of the circumstances, fast advise against further antagonization of local political authority. I agree with Faust. I get the feeling that she isn't She isn't the kind of heartless inquisitor that goes around indiscriminately executing innocents like Miss Mayers told us about earlier. I don't think she's actually anything like the Inquisitors or Encore we saw back at Claw. You're right, we don't have the full picture of the circumstances getting in the way of an Inquisitor who was clearly rather significant political entity in the area was most likely a bad idea. To answer your questions, continue to trust me then. As the standoff was showing no signs of ending, Miss Mayers, I can answer your questions, so for now, let's do as the Inquisitor says. Oh, I double clicked. It's alright, I'm sure this is happening only because the Inquisitor doesn't know. What do you mean you will answer the question? About the profound silence. May's response to Otis was a single concept. It didn't quite grasp the significance, but it seems to surprise the Inquisitor. That's what they call the calamity that destroyed Iberia. Mm.
만곡된 직선을 직선으로 질주하겠소.
You. Decades ago, a great wave ravaged through Iberia. It wasn't long before the seabones carried by the waves diminished Iberia's brilliant civilization to this. The waves of profound silence then master reduced the village to its current state as well. Is there any reason it's called profound silence? It doesn't seem to have any to be most appropriate moniker for a calamity like that. It's because the sea went dead silent before the waves came. The silence that claims ships at sea than the cities of Iberia than the Liberians. No one could say a word in face of ineffable calamity. What? Just what are you? The average Iberian citizen should be privy to any of the information you're sharing. And the Church of the Deep is really capitalizing on the pandemonium that followed the profound silence. Pretending to be Aegir from the sea to lead the century of Iberia and are showing chaos in her lands. So that's why they're arresting Aegir left and right. I can see the thought process, but so it's understandable why the Inquisitor would want to arrest us. I'd say this isn't good sharing. Sharing that seems to have been some kind of taboo-like thing for the Inquisition. Inquisitor Wellesley stared at Mayors. Her eyes were filled with traces of anger and confusion, but he's afraid. And the face of a threat. Not the fear of the terrified, no, that it's the fear of someone who's suddenly confronted with something they must destroy. The High Inquisition once told me that should I come across an Aegir who knows too much, there is a sliver of a chance that they might be of assistance to Iberia. Cease threatening the innocents with thy brandishing with the firearm, or most seduced by the allure of the sea. Thus with little doubt, are foes. Bad feeling about this. Get out of the way, outsider. Final warning. Run. Quick on the uptake. As always, Radio slung Mia over his shoulder and ran past the villagers. They scattered in all directions to distract the Inquisitor. Inquisitor draws a firearm. In the midst of all that action, Don Quixote rushed towards the Inquisitor without a moment's hesitation. Don Quixote? Thou shalt go no further. I, officer of justice, shan't abide by as thou prosecute them. Forsooth, 'tis a battle delayed, not avoided. The clash is inevitable. That moment of crisis, seconds before they could irrevocably make us a new enemy. What the? A large obsidian crystallization in the shape of a monster burst forth between the two of them. Gah! Who is it this time? It's enough. That's enough. Meaningless bickering. Dr. Cassett. Do you know her? Yes, she's Dr. Cassett, right out of the medical department's... Dr. Cassett, behind you. Shoot first, talk later, is it? The negotiations are over. From this moment onwards, Rhode Island is now operating within legal capacity of Liberian territory under the Inquisition's authorization. The Inquisitor fired a blast of that firearm-looking weapon, but the monster summoned by Cassett managed to deflect it. And the cannibal thrown from the weapon punched clean through the wall of a building we stayed in last night, before punching through several other buildings behind it. It was enough to instantly freeze the sinners and the villagers on the spot. It penetrated a building. Though the walls are maybe weak, then weaker than the head's standard for what counts as a building's exterior wall to punch through so many is what a precise point it makes. Now's not the time to be standing with impressed. It is a violation of a taboo to have that much penetrative power in a firearm. Well, we're not in the city. Don't lose your heads over this. Taboos don't apply here. My head knows that to be true, yet my heart finds it difficult to believe still. Fair enough. That is enough of that discussion for now. It is advisable that we carefully observe and grasp the situation at hand instead of deliberating on a taboo, the jurisdiction of which does not reach this far. So the situation has gotten slightly better, right? If she's Amiya's friend, she's our ally. Besides, she's got some super powerful looking prosthetic looking gear thing too. Is that what you think? I apologize for your disappointment, but I'm not on anyone's side. In other words, your particular domination ally might not be entirely correct. However, if I must define my allegiance, then let me inform you that the closest label would be that I am Inquisitor Irene's ally. Dr. Cassett, Amiya outsiders. As much as you would like to deny it, Inquisitor's suspicions are true. While it is said that the process by which she reached a conclusion was unfair, the conclusion itself was without a doubt correct. So they're actually connected to the Church of the Deep? That is one way to put it. To be more precise, they aren't connected to the Church of the Deep, they are the Church of the Deep. Perhaps the village itself is a dilapidated church of their congregation. A village is a church? Just looking at our building, where would we even congregate? Your thoughts first? There are not many resources by which we may analyze the decision. However, the fact that Amiya's colleagues has made the same argument as the Inquisitor brings, it's a question. That's true. As fortune should have it, there's no need for you to know it. This way. Here we go. Fortune should have it. There is no need for you to know it anyways. Truth is truth, unchanging without the exceptions of an errant group of outsiders. Besides, soon. I'm sorry, it seems that we've mired you in this trouble. Say no such thing. We shall not abide by as one. Such injustice is perpetrated before our eyes. We are definitely by the Inquisition, and Inquisition has even brought an ally. It seems quite unlikely that the word shall resolve this conflict. But we promise you, we will take responsibility for what is done. We have benefited far too much from your warmth and kindness not to do so. Pulls a dagger from his cloth, and I immediately knew that what Kalsip was about to say. Take responsibility? You don't have to go that. Army. We are now departing for the sea, yet as we cannot bring ourselves to leave you here, I must ask for you to join us for this journey. Come our bloodkin. What are you doing? Stop. The unanticipated, or perhaps I was simply in denial of this rising dread. Ambush did not end there. Damn it, the Inquisitor was right. The villagers suddenly began shanking the sinners with weapons they had concealed in their clothes, seeing that they were coming for me as well. Amiya, on your left. Amiya materialized a black ribbon-like apparition, parrying away the dagger flying in my direction. But another villager rushed in, taking advantage of the opening. Kick. The charging villager's back made a visceral crunchy noise. Someone flung them away? Didn't mean to be this late. Gaddy, let me catch you up to speed. I know the situation. This fishy smell was what I wanted to investigate earlier. What about the sinners? Unlike Amiya and I, who managed to survive the initial ambush, the sinners weren't doing so well. So learning that the Inquisitor and Kalsit quickly understanding of the situation and the subsequent retaliation led the villagers away from the sinners. How? I didn't notice any hostility or aggression. What an odd thing to say. Why would we hold any animosity against you? Why would we intend to kill you? We are not trying to hurt you. We are simply trying to give you a form better suited for the sea. Until we were obstructed. I apologize for our unfamiliarity has caused you trouble, Inquisitor. I won't make a big stink about what happened. What's truly unforgivable is that these heretics tried to take advantage of your ignorance of outsiders to flee the Inquisition. And even if you are outsiders, any lives lost in Liberian soil are my responsibility, and it's my fault. I'm sorry it came to this. Wait, lives lost? We're still alive, you know. We can shake off a stab wound like... This is most unfortunate, outsider. Huh? What? Your friends are either going to die or turn into seaborn. The daggers that stabbed them were laced with the flesh of sea terrors. Once that happens, most die and the survivors become overwritten by themselves, becoming nothing more than another sea monster. Wait, what's that? Not a very big deal. Everyone was acting like this was it for the sinners, but hey, I should be able to deal with this by turning the clock. It's not that bad. My only concern was that I didn't know what would happen if I tried to bring them back after they fully transferred into Seaborns. I'm gonna borrow help deal with the whale's planification effects, but I have no idea how it would interact with Seaborn transformations. We should just kill them before they turn. How? Must be very hard for you. But what? Sorry to bother you with this, but can you kill my friends? Preferably in the least painful way you know. Oh, sorry. Was this the last part kind of too much to ask? Wait, don't give up already. If you bring them back to Rhode Island, we should be able to do something to help them. How should I explain this? Guys, can you... I know what you mean, but I just can't right now. My strength has rapidly deteriorated since the ambush. It's kind of tingly too. So maybe they use some kind of paralytic cocktail? Just trust me this one time. I can assure you that I'm not just giving up on them. But, can you understand the outside of speech? Yes, it's just that they're making a pretty difficult request. They want me to kill all their friends before they transfer into Seaborn. Okay. Before we knew it, Scotty had already decapitated the sinners, none of whom resisted. And Amia seemed to have been taken back by how fast Scotty jumped into action. What are you doing? Scotty, don't let this spook you. This is just how we roll. The clock turns. The decapitated heads creep towards the headless torsos, connecting with the threads of blood. The sensation is that of reversal. If Ephesus' sins have been severed from the rest of their world, remaining in isolation. Is this reminding us going back in time, or are we defying the concept itself? This pain is multifold, worse than the sensation of a straight decapitation. The pain is in the heart. As the currents of death reverse, I sense a deep, crushing isolation. The wounds are disappearing. Resurrection, metemphysiosis, or time reversal? Puzzling. I have no knowledge with which to interpret this technology. The cost seems to be that the pain is transferred to the one who rewinds. But this seems too small a price to pay. Price for such great power. The discussion is of whether this could be categorized as power or should be explored later. I can't stop shaking. All my limbs were trembling from the icy solitude. Still, I took a moment to collect myself in order to sinners. I don't know just what they were thinking, but we should be able to find it out once we take them down. You dared to see the executive manager and tried to take their life? Prepare thyself, or thou shalt now pay the price for making a mockery of justice. Yeah, we can't just let this slide, you know. How unfortunate. I had high hopes for that all of you would become fine bloodkins. It's always the old guys.
승객들, 뭔가 기분 좋은 일이라도 있었던 거야?
행색이 이상하나 그럼에도 이상이여 내가 맞서 내가 아시의 이상을 함께 줬던 호위 이상이여 날개를 펼치고 발톱을 걸어 목을 떨고
To be honest, I'm kind of concerned that the guy just trade here. This seems like it'll be a little bit longer than I want to chill.
숨통 끊기.
승객이 딱콩 한 방 먹였어.
제쳐라.
괜찮은 공격이네요. 앞으로도 그렇게만 해주세요. 여관에 가면 또 한참을 떠드시겠다. 바리에게 해줄 이야기가 또 늘었군요.
이 앞에 숨쉬는 자 누구 하나 살려보내지 마라. 마음 놓고 열어젖히고 그쪽뿐만 아닐 텐데
그간의 전투가 있을 수 없진 않았군요. 적합한 위치였습니다.
저 해충들을 도려내. 물러나라. 네 목숨은 아직 따로 쓸 곳이
단순해서 좋고
너의 쓸모를
보자.
보자.
물론 좋은 성과를 갖길 바란다면
이거는 충분해. 너한테 알겠지만 원더풀한 선택이었어 나리. 저들의 약점이 뻔히 보이는 게로군.
넌 푸름을 틔울 수도 없겠구나.
무상한 목숨. 불끈한 지원해. 이 거리는 충분해. 너한텐 알겠지만. 아무것도 아닙니다. 시간 끌 것 없이 모조리 지워버리죠.
말로 받아낸다.
점을 잘 노리셨습니다.
해충들을 도려내.
해결사의
물론
도 해주셨네요.
제쳐라. 오히려 길을
적이지 않을 수 없네.
그렇게 했으면 되지. 그만한 훌륭한
이런 모습이던가.
무얼 잘못했는지 아는 것부터가 시작이랬어. 카론, 기다리는 거 못해.
자,
100초만 기다려줄게.
잘 생각해보라고. 저 혈압도 바로 도려내라.
Easy.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. Wait, I think they're heading to. He's running himself into a dead end. Are they seeking refuge at sea? Wait, that's where the ship is. That's where they're headed. They're trying to board the vessel, Marsos. Wait, but we never told them that the ship was repaired, so how? Obvious, the whole village is on it. It ain't a surprise that they would send someone to spy on us. Or they know a way to get the ship floating, even if it's in even in its broken state. Vessel Masas? Vessel Rebellion de Las Masas. Ship is moored at the port in that direction. Wait, it can't be. But in hiding, could go first. Was red ship instead of departing the harbour, or sea terrors between us and them? How can a vessel of that size become operational this fast? Sir, the name. It must have been constructed during the golden age of Iberia. Now, how are we supposed to chase that? What if we build a raft and ride after them? Hey, come on. It's a sea full of sea terrors, it won't get very far before it sinks. Do you see something on you? Keep looking in that direction. Oh. The vessel master soon disappeared into the mist, and the village was left empty, with nary a sign of people ever having been there, as though this gateway had all been premeditated. Leaving only Emmaus. Ah.
마침내 굴레 하나를 끊었어. 두려움 없이 나아갈 수 있는 아씨가 그리던 홍원이 한 걸음 더 가까워진 것이요.
What the hell?
그러니 언젠가 재회할 날 꼭 내게
Oh, I see. Just tied.
주시오. 내 그것만을 바라고 온 몸에 피를 묻혀가며 쉼없이 달리고 있으니.
You know what? Okay. I'm gonna get more chillax. Give me a second. I need to relax. Let me just. Damn it, can't we just take any ship to go after it? That's a research vessel. It can't possibly be that be very fast. This will be difficult. Even if it's a research vessel, I'm sure it was constructed during the golden age of Iberia. No average ship can keep up with it. Oh my god. Which is a problem because I doubt we have any ship that can travel at the same speed. We only have a few vessels left, which are all anchored too far from this location to be feasible options. Do you have any recourse? No, not unless we can identify the exact location of the vessel, which is a real problem. We can find ourselves a ship to go after them, yes, but most eyes of Iberia, the lighthouses, were lost during the profound silence. Wait, when you say most, do you mean that there's some left? Just one, as far as I know. The one in Grand Faro, but the lighthouse cannot be used at the moment. There's another. There's a lighthouse you can use. Really? Are you really going to give one of the villagers the benefit of the doubt? Yet young Scotty hath already confirmed her to be safe. Whether she's seaborn or not, can't know if she's a cultist. It's true, yet. So the Mias was left on her own. We decided to have a comedy us at all times and keep her within Irene's eyeshot. We couldn't possibly blame her for what happened, given Skydy's confirmation that she doesn't have anything to do with the sea monsters. Besides, they'd all left her behind. Irene still seemed to harbor a bit of suspicion. The problem with Aguirre is that she simply knows too much. Where could she have possibly gained access to all that information? She can't even answer that question. Let's think about it this way. What if we were to ask her what we don't know? Location of that lighthouse, for example. They're ticking rapidly. What did they say? We should approach it differently and ask her what we don't know, like the location of the lighthouse. That seems a reasonable suggestion to me. Or does the Inquisitor have an alternative solution to this conundrum? No, but... Alright, let's hear it. I want to interrogate you about how you have access to things that even us Inquisitors don't know. At least not right now. Furimiruto, Dead Lighthouse, that's our village's name. Village name. Somewhere a little ways off the coastline, there's an intact Eye of Iberia on the sea that was almost destroyed when the profound silence swept through. Off the coastline? Is it not connected to land? I think it used to be. Until it sank. We should be able to procure ourselves with enough wood material from the village to build a raft. Is it enough for a raft to be a means of access? Weather's not great today, but it should do. It's not very far from the coast. You gonna trust our gear? I don't see why I shouldn't. I understand the Iberians' mistrust of our gear is quite profound, yet such sentiment is hollow to the rest of us. Here's Irene. What do you feel when you saw the Rhode Island operator? Nothing particular other than she's slight annoyance when she accused me of being inhumane. I mean, hostility nor disgust. Not that you would have felt any sense of sympathy or empathy either. I thought I have no history or feelings for or against the Aguirre, since such must be the same for the outsiders. What's she on about? She's complaining that the matters in regards to mayors, in our opinions, are more objective than Irene's. This community aid will be a benefit to all. LimbKnights company will gain the opportunity to return to the city via the dimensional door, while Rhodes Islands will have the chance to study it at a closer proximity. And the Inquisitors will gain the possession of the vessel in which the technology from the Iberian Golden Age is contained. What, you're going to just hand it over to the Inquisition? Why should we cover what was once Iberia's? Masterpiece knows them as sorties. As long as that can be guaranteed, I see no reason to refuse. Reminder that the city's tech is fucking disgusting. We are in luck, Executive Manager. It is quite fortunate that strange land. Lucky is right. Imagine if we were back in the city, we would have taken them like three or free distortion hunts for us to come to this agreement. You may please lead us to the lighthouse. Okay, happily. So when you said almost destroyed, how almost destroyed is it? I heard that the lighthouse faded from the lighthouse a long time ago, but the shape still stands. At least it was when I saw it a few months ago. It's been technician to get it back in the working order. It's based on a complete divorce from the popular application of Originium technology, so I doubt there's anyone who can work on it anymore. You need to worry about that. Here we have an engineer and a researcher who are geniuses even among those in the city, so we should be able to manage most mechanical failures. Today is just a revelation after revelation, huh? Compared for Limbus company skills, I can also work on simpler tasks. I've learned a thing or two helping out Gramps. Stuff about the lighthouse and various tech stuff. Should we head to the lighthouse? No, I will leave in the group for a moment. Anya, will you accompany them? Anya will accompany him, as said. What, after all that, you're just going off on your own? Yes, to join the doctor, it is imperative for the successful execution of this mission. The hinges of Anya and Skadi remaining here behind here to assist the rest of you. Thus, I will leave it to the rest of you to take the Eye of Iberia and the lighthouse back. Wait, what do you mean by take the lighthouse? Is there someone or something out there that's taking over the lighthouse called the Eye of Iberia? I like your suspicion. Anya, what did the manager of the Limbus company say? Not bad intuition. Yes, there is a high likelihood that the structure has been overrun by sea terrors. Answer me this, are there any limitation to their revival? There are no restrictions as long as Dante the manager survives. However, do note that battle efficiency deprecates the prolonged a prolonged battle due to mounting mental stress on the manager. No need to change plan then. Use this communicator to alert me as soon as they are able to identify the coordinates of the vessel from the lighthouse. Luck would have it, we will be able to reduce the time it takes to complete the retrieval mission. Okay, so long as you are not taking everyone with you, if it's just her who's leaving, then go ahead. I think we should be fine too. And let's commence the vessel massas retrieval. Right, step one of the plan's the raft, right? Let's get on with it. It's done, let's go. What? Why are you looking at us like that? Is there something bothering you? Must you ask? Just look how proactive and quick she is to jump to action. Something that's up to the image of an employee working for a large company. Thanks, Otis, for that chargeable view, I guess. Huh. She just did it in the background. She's like, oh, a raft? Okay, sure. I got it.
뜀박질 시간.
After a while of carefully sailing on Scotty's raft along the coastal cliffs, a gargantuan shattered lighthouse emerged from the thick mist. Eyes of Iberia. Even if in its dilapidated ruined state, touches that are monumental and sensitive are apparent on the exterior construction of the lighthouse. Some even call the lighthouse guardians of Liberia. It retains the grandeur of the area as it was built during the Golden Age. Yeah, it is as she said, but nowadays lighthouses are nothing but graveyards of countless inquisitors and soldiers of the Penal Battalion. No one who's attempted to retrieve a lighthouse has ever survived the expedition. Can you please not say scary stuff like that, Miss Irene? We're literally about to walk into one. Don't you have a quick chirping? What are you, a foul beast? Stop yapping in my ear. I'm not a coward, I'm just forcing my... She did just say some pretty concerning stuff. How long do you think the repairs will take? Its exterior is rather heavily damaged, however, what's visible from the outside, its interior is still quite intact. With Miss Faust's expertise, it should not take very long. Yusung suggested with a smile, but Faust maintained her silence for the entire journey to the lighthouse, and said something pretty concerning in response. It remains unmarred even in such uncertainties. The currents are pretty wild. Someone's going to have to stay behind and keep an eye on the raft. We can't just leave it here unattended, but I don't know if we can carry it either. I'll stay here and protect the ship. Are you sure? You can handle this alone? I know you're strong, but maybe one or two people should stay behind just in case. No, don't need them. Two carriers will swarm the isle if I go with you anyway. So this has nothing to do with you. She's trying to say that she's worried about you not having enough people to take on the lighthouse, but she can handle this area alone. Which is why she's saying she's staying behind the line. Oh, thanks for explaining. Some people just can't help but hop through extra hoops, I guess. Well then, let's trust her. We'll be back, Scotty. Scotty. On our way to the lighthouse gates. The problem was the gates were bound by strange blue tissue. Reminds me of an elko. Oh, it was white. I don't think I can do anything to force it open myself, so... Guys, can you pry open this door? Oh, wait, river. And we'll pull together. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Up. Falling off here. What are you doing? The door is firmly secured in place. Almost as soon as it's torn. Perhaps you'll need to tap it into a wider form of art to get this open? Well, what now? This is strange. Flesh tissue growing on the gates is sea terror. It reacts to the layout, but it's grown too much to be affected by it in any meaningful capacity. You're able to open the door with her incredible strength, but should we go fetch her? I think she's already fighting off sea terrors from the sinking raft. Here's an identity card or ego I could use to get to this. Huh? Just as I was pondering, from your question, a faint black glow came into view, and divided my sight. And through that opening, I see a light. I see Scotty, born from the very, very warm gaze. Scotty? Powerful imagery crashes onto me like waves. The staggering dancer wielding a blade. Scotty who flaunts her flowing locks. And Scotty the singer, humming a low in a low voice. Beyond the fringes of cognition, Scotty's existence has become engraved. The sinner who can wrestle and control this oceanic tidal power is... Let's see, are you alright? I'm good. No, I don't think we need to send for Scotty. What? Hey, Ishmael, I've never used this ego before, but I need you to trust me and accept it. What, an ego? Quietly. Well, it's not like we ever get to practice one with those ego. Whatever it is, seems to me I've managed to find a solution. She lets out carefree laughter before stepping forward, boldly twirling her mace once. I mean, what's the worst can happen? Get corroded? Oh, nice!
한눈 팔지 마세요. 당신에게 파도는 반드시 밀려올 테니.
Cracks on the lighthouse are growing. I think she destroyed the door instead of opening it. Sorry, didn't think it would be this strong. Oh, the door's open. What are we waiting for? No, I mean, what? Just what was the part of you? What was the part where you... What, the part where I suddenly changed into a different outfit and equipped a different personality? Yes, that. That is most fascinating. That an ego could be drawn here in lieu of the mirror of Mephistopheles. I think I connected to Amia's subconscious mind. There was this strange, unfamiliar light, and I saw Amia's motions attached to her memories and experience, so I just reached out to them. My subconscious mind? I just got this feeling that it would work. Sorry about peering in without asking first. I didn't see anything other than things about Scotty. All I needed were memories and emotion that can be used to understand the being that is Scotty. It's okay. I also have experience with gaining power from others' memories and emotions to overcome difficult situations. It'll draw something from me as well, Dante. And that is the most appropriate assumption, especially in the situation in which delving into its principles is impossible. So that's Scordio. Really, of course, this company's ego is quite distinguished from the other kinds of ego which are blown from within oneself. As enough, no further information is to be divulged to outsiders. Yet it matters not whether young Mayors or young Amir learns of this. I agree with the four this time. The Inquisitor used an artillery projectile that penetrates the outer wall, several of them, in fact, of the building. And the head did not pursue her following the breach of a taboo. This is clearly not the city. Ain't it better let it talk her heart out than hear her moan and whine about not being able to say anything? I am convinced. Do as you will then. Baz replies, sounded almost like sulking, but Don Quixote immediately began to expound upon ego to Irene and Mia's anyways. Everyone was too busy to pay attention to her, as the wet, slithering noise from the distance had put everyone on edge. So there were more sea terrors past the door. I think any sea terrors from the sea are all converging around Scotty, which means that only roadblocks are sea terrors still lingering around the lighthouse. Alright, time to clear the lighthouse.
좋은 일이라도 있었던 거야?
행색이 이상하나 그럼에도 이상이여. 내가 맞서. 내가 아시의 이상을 함께 줬던 호위 이상이여. 날개를 펼치고 시비수에게 명할 컵을 걸어. 이 앞에 숨지는 자 누구 하나 살려놓지 마라. 넌 푸름을 틔울 수
이제야 실력을 좀
없겠구나.
내시네요. 평소에도 이러면 얼마나 좋습니까?
대성공이야. 바로 신나. 노래 부를까?
한 넘고 물 넘고 꺾고 제철.
볼일이 방금 뭘 본 것인가? 엄청난 강한 일격을!
혈압도 바로.
그간의 전투 경험이 쓸모가 없진 않았군요. 딴딴 적합한 조치였어.
숨통 끊기.
전투 감각 하나만큼 수감자가 되어도 훌륭하긴 하군. 이제 그 도통 알아들을 수 없는 말투만 고치면 딱 좋겠어. 4번 수감자.
흑승류 뒷박질 춤. 가치 없군. 죽어라. 훌륭하군요. 이제 깨우치시게. 방금 전에 위대한 일격을 기록하는 중간에 이따가 버스에서 회고해야 하지 않겠는가? 시간 끌 것 없이 모두를 치워버리죠. 가치 없군. 죽어라.
고작 이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나.
이제 깨우치시게. 여관에 가면 또 한참을 떠드시고
일기당천.
다리에게 해줄 이야기가 또 늘었군요. 아직 죽지 마라. 훌륭하군요. 이제 깨우치시게.
승객이 딱콩 한 방 먹였어.
친히 목을 떨궈주마. 고작 이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나.
여관에 가면 또 한참을 떠드시고 다리에게 해줄 이야기가 또 늘었군요.
발톱을 걸어. 도끼를 본다. 저
나라도
해충들을
그렇게
도려내라.
이제 깨우치시게.
묘여
그렇게 시원하게 처리하니
길을 열어라.
맛이 나는군. 우리 처리는 빠르게 하는 편.
나리의 속 깊은 빛을 본인이 헤아리기엔 쉽지 않나 보네. 아직 죽지 마라.
불가
바리에게 해줄 이야기가 또 늘었군요.
막아내지 못하리.
고작 이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나.
우와, 사람도 깜짝.
흑수묘 뒷박질 춤.
Damn.
가치 없고 죽어.
마음 놓고 열어젖히고. 답은 너희로.
우와, 사람도 깜짝.
깨치시겠.
말로 고작 이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나. 저 해주들을 도려내. 물 넘고 꺾고 제쳐라. 오히려 길을 열어라. 넌 푸름을 틔울 수도 없겠구나.
괜찮은 공격이네요.
바람 들어오는
앞으로도
대로
그렇게만 해주세요.
짓밟아라.
Mission accomplished.
또 한 줄 길을 남겼구나. 핏물진 길일 뿐이지만 세월이 지나면 홍호는 그제야 알게 되겠지. 이 홍로가
이런 임무는 뱀 중에서도 내가 제일이지.
제가 괜히 먹을 것들을 사들고 오는 것이
색이 이상하다.
따뜻해.
그런데도 이상이야.
이런
내
우주적인
12수 효과가
기대해서
이 안에 숨쉬는 다시의 이상을 이루고 하나 살려보지 마라. 이상
그래, 그렇게 시원하게 처리하니 그런 맛이 나는군. 일 처리는 빠르게 하는 편이 덜 답답.
지원해봐.
그간의 전투 경험이 쓸모가 없진 않았군요. 딴딴 족한 조치였습니다.
혈압도 바로
괜찮은 공격이네요. 앞으로도 그렇게만 해주세요.
불가 위협 막아내지 못하리.
이제야 실력을 좀 내시네요. 평소에도 이러면 얼마나 좋습니까?
Oh, that's unlucky.
숨통 끊기.
바람 들어오는 대로 짓밟아라.
수감자가 되어도 훌륭하긴 하군. 이제 그 도통 알아들을
막아내지 못하리.
4번 주감자.
대성공이야. 달은 신나. 노래 부를까?
아직 죽지 마라.
본인이 방금 뭘 본 것인가? 엄청나게 강한 일격을!
우와, 카름도 깜짝.
자, 어느 쪽일지 잘 생각해보라고.
가치 없군. 죽어.
도끼를 본다.
무얼 잘못했는지 아는 것
This doesn't exactly feel like it's too hard yet, but we'll see.
감동적이지 않을 수 없네.
그걸 무기로 때리시.
방금 전에 위대한 일격을 기록하는 중이라네. 이따가 버스에서 회고해야 하지 않겠는가?
지고 발톱을 걸어.
이제 깨우치시게. 아직 죽지 마라.
목을 떨궈주마. 고작 이 정도 넌 푸름을 틔울 수도 없구나. 물 넘고 꺾고 제철.
승객이 딱콩 한 번 먹였어.
깔끔하게 물었군. 적을
전에
물어
위대한 일격을
너의
기록하는
쓸모를
중이라네.
보여라.
이따가 버스에서 회고해야 하지 않겠는가?
자, 어느 쪽일지
비거리는
잘
충분해.
생각해보라고.
너한텐 알겠지만
Damn.
원더풀한 선택이었어 나리! 저들의 약점이 뻔히 보이는 게로군.
깨우치시게.
약점을 잘 노리셨습니다. 이제 해결사의 정수력도 익숙해지셨네요.
그쪽만은 아닐 텐데.
아직 죽지 마라.
방금 전에 위대한 일격을 기록하는 중이라네. 이따가 버스에서 회고해야 하지 않겠는가?
고작 이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나.
원망도 뉘우친 게 소용이 없었으니 그저 무언가를 찾으려 애썼을 뿐.
Damn.
당천.
It's these Flash guys that are doing shit to me.
넘고 무수히 넘고 얼마든지 걷고 제철.
훌륭한 성과군 일반 수감자. 원격 제거 사용 짓은 목을 떨궈주마.
Damn, that sucks.
퉁퉁치셨네.
겹겹의 중
위대한 일격을 기록하는 중간에
뚫어 보이겠어.
이따가 버스에서 회고해야 하지 않겠는가?
자, 어느 쪽일지 잘 생각해보라고.
아득한 여정. 멈추지 않는 시대에서 희망과 미래를 찾아 스스로
이 거리는 충분해. 너한텐 지금 멀겠지만.
Nice.
나라도 그렇게 했을 테지. 이만하면 훌륭하군요.
날개를 펼치고 발톱을 걸어.
Yeah, those things are scary.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished.
또 한 줄 길을 남겼군. 핏물진 길일 뿐이지만 세월이 지나면 홍호는 그제야 알게 되겠지.
야음을 틈타.
There were more sea terrors than we expected near the lighthouse, but thanks to Irene's lamp, the light which paralyzed their nervous systems, paired with the rather narrow passageways, we were able to handle them without trouble. Also, as the control room was unlike the exterior, wall mostly undamaged, Bass shared the good news that the repairs most likely won't take very long. His son was right. Fortunately, the inside is barely damaged. Faust is almost complete. We best prepare to leave. I'll ready the doctor. That's from the ceiling. The lighthouse precarious floor suddenly collapsed from the shock. Oh, the floor's giving way. What's going on out there? Something's rammed against the eye of Iberia. I see it was shattering through the ocean surface. The sheer explosive force turning water into mist, and it is charging at us once again. If we look at the lights of the city. From what this say, when we are no choice, we have to stop whatever is out there. Now stay here. The rest of us will descend the lighthouse and I'll take some finishing touches to have its light shine again, which I can handle, so I'll stay behind. Seems entirely unnecessary to leave the rest to you. I would much rather leave it to Faust, who is an expert. I've read about the Seaborn before. The fables of legend say that he is the last knight, and if the stories have a grain of truth in them, you don't need all hands on deck, and to even have a chance of stalling it. You better prepare for a few days' interrogations once I bring you into the intuition. Your decision, Executive Manager. All hands on deck. Leave the lighthouse to Myers. We have to put a stop to that night somehow. Spearloading night. The night begins to charge at us. His steed splitting the very sea, and I instinctively know that this isn't going to be easy. What the hell? One day, wheat grains he planted did not sprout. One day he stopped feeling the scent of life between his breasts. Shows as though it's repulsiveness, but he does not stop. Is impermissible. This is the land. We are not the sea, we are not its waves. Okay,
아는 것을 모른 채 할 수는
good.
敵の調子が悪くなっているみたいです
행색이 이상하나 그럼에도 이상이요.
Oh,
왔어. 내가 아시의 이상을 함께 줬던 호위 이상이요.
getting to host next turn. What's per turn heal? Oh, okay, hang on.
날개를 펼치고 발톱을 걸어 길을 본다. 저 해충들을 도려내라. 묘야. 길을 열어라.
適した攻撃でなくても最善の選択だったはずです
보상은 없음. 불그대 지원했군.
I might pop fast ego just so I can
물 넘고 거꾸로 제쳐라.
もっと効果的な方法が
let's have a look. That's struggling. That's neutral. That's hopeless. Hopeless. Neutral. Hopeless. Struggling. Hopeless. Struggling.
시간 끌 것 없이
희귀 세력이 나왔다.
모조리
이
지워버리고
앞에 숨쉬는 자 누구 하나 살려보내지 마라.
Oh boy, okay. Do we have anything in common? Let's who's below and see who's under the faint light. Get it? Here we go. Sinners want from knights the fire determinations rest sinners. Rose flame illuminates our path. First.
아는 것을
Okay.
대체할 수는 없으니
Not too bad.
皆さんの状態に何か変化が。
불가 위야 막아내지 못하리. 아득한 여정 멈추지 않는 시대에서 희망과 미래를 찾아 스스로 답을 구해.
That's fine. I just wanted the buffs, the support, and the heals. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yuck.
목을 떨궈주마.
Ah, okay.
그쪽 방향이 아닐 텐데.
Frozen.
적을 물어뜯고 너의
This is a problem.
흑수며 임박질 준비.
이 거리는 충분해. 너한테. 지금
Damn.
이 거리는
Nice.
충분해. 너한테. 정말 알겠지만.
Oh, he's so resistant. You're doing that. Okay.
일기당천. 목을 떨궈주마.
Using negatives again.
아득한 여정. 멈추지 않는 시대에서 희망과 미래를 찾아 스스로 답을 구하시길.
Nice. Nice.
적을 물어뜯고 너의 쓸모를 보여라.
Oh, this is a problem.
흑수묘 빈박질 준비.
You gonna hit the stagger threshold? I don't think you are.
뭘 위해 지금까지 죽은
적을
囚
물어
人が対決でき
너의
ませんでした
쓸모를 보여라.
ダンテさんには囚人を蘇生できる能力がありましたよね
Can I use this? I can.
시간 끌 것 없이 모조리 치워버리죠. 무상은 없어. 불끈한 지원했군.
흐름을 따라 달려가면 역시 여기 숨어 있었네요.
Nice. So good. I'm gonna pop that now so that way she gets that support.
질 준비.
이미 정해진 이야기를 따라 빛에 맞게 사로잡히시길 덕타의ように優れた式ですね
Ew! Oh, wait. Uh oh.
ダンテさんなんだかただな
Oh!
愛を感じます
Deal 5% for every enemy with cold, max 30. Uh oh. You know what, I'm gonna dodge that.
흑수묘 빈박질 준비. 잠깐만 기다려라.
Ew! Oh, okay, so top options only. That
今一度把握し直さなければ
understood.
뜀박질 중.
Oh boy. I'm running on low HP here.
이 몸을 온당히 벌하심에 기꺼이 죄를 받아들이나이다.
Damn. Oh, that's fucking rough. Oh my god.
믿음을 되새겼다니. 어리석은 의문은 품지 말았어야지.
He does so much fucking damage. Jesus.
これも作戦の一環。
And no healing.
カンパニー
What's this need? Gluttony, stuff, pride. Yeah, that's not good.
시간 끌 것 없이 모조리 지워버리자. 즐거운
Oh?
시간. 무슨 불소래.
Didn't he have... He shouldn't have died. He's got his ult.
혈압도 바로 적을 물어 너의
No, see?
지나온 길을 생각하면 이 또한 내가 걸어야만 하는 길이겠지.
이 수많은 소원들 중 그대가 이루고 싶은 소원은 무엇인가?
동인될 때까지 전장인
Yeah, I'm gonna have to reset this one. Can I just hit the button?
이런 식으로 해결하면 됩니다. 시청자분들.
걸음이 내키지
囚
않았어.
人の皆さんならきっ
그뿐이야.
とできます。私
Hmm.
ことを信じています。
딱
Okay, I need to deal with the ice.
그걸로 충분. 비례사는 범인이었던 지난날과 다를 바가 무엇인지 떠오르는 해가
Right, so I don't want to get cold because he benefits from cold. Yeah, and he heals as well. Okay. Where does he apply the cold? If target has inflict 2 count, if target has cold inflict. I'm guessing it's in his passives. When hit, inflict 1 cold against the attacker. Once per skill. Ah. Record if there's something record, get clash power up. I see. Wait, so I don't want to attack him? Because hitting him only benefits him. I gotta clash with the that. Make sure he loses it. What a hit. I might swap the salt in.
내 명을 들은 시비수 결집이다.
Oh, okay.
아는 것을 모른 채 할 수는
敵
없으니
の調子が悪くなっているみたいです
불가 위야.
이상하나
막아내자.
길을 보내라.
저 해충을 도려내라.
내가 아시의 이상을 안겨줬다.
틈틈
이상이요.
묘여. 길을 열어라.
適した攻撃じゃなくても最善の選択だったはず
불가 지원의 본.
혈액도 바로.
물 넘고 꺾고 제쳐라.
틈틈
Faust needs to wait a turn because she got hit.
아닐 텐데.
Because it's 3 when you freeze, right? Yes. So Faust needs to skip a turn. Yeah, and he's got attack power up. Because if I freeze myself, all I'm ask, like, all that happens is I fucking blow up. Right. And here it inflicts 1 card against the attacker. Dodge.
불가 위
시비수에게 명한다.
막아내지 못하리.
이 앞에 숨지는 자,
See if this works.
보내지 마라.
술술해.
적질 않나.
囚人の皆さんの状態に何か変化が。
Everyone's at 0 now, though. Use that high SP. Okay, hang on. Wait. I don't think you're right. Cause it looks to me like you want to not hit him as much as possible.
언제나 줄고. 그러니 될 때까지 피를 흘리고 치고 박으면 그만이다. 나의 도끼는
You gotta invade. You've got to invade.
군주가 나서
보는 눈은 있는.
출발합니다.
의외로군.
You have a counter. You have a normal defense.
흑수 어디서?
의로움을 세우기 위해서라면
I think it's gonna be something like this.
이제 명을 받들.
잠깐
죽음께서 모이를 뿌리셨으니
기차와 같이 달려나가겠소.
아는 것을 모른 채 할 수는
とても
없으니
調子が悪くなっているみたいです。
행색이 이상하다. 그럼에도 이상이여. 내가 맞소. 내가 아시의 이상을 함께 줬던 호위 이상이여.
불가 위야 막아내지 못하리.
목을 떨궈주마.
She's got one.
敵が来ます。皆さん、戦闘の準備を。
So now these three can't attack. So now, and because of his sanity, Ishmael, those three? No, it was these three. Okay. And basically what I'll do is I'll hide them at the back for now. I think 3 people per turn. Uma Sang's gotta counter that. He does not have the sanity, but oh well. Oh, you do not have any speed at all. Well, they're all going after him. Oh wait, I need Don Quixote. No. No, it can't be you. Okay, he can do that. Good. That means one person. Oh. He is fine.
시비 소리게 나왔나. 이 앞에 숨쉬는 자. 하나 살려보내지 마라.
무슨 술술해.
Cool. Right, the only person who can't attack is you. Why are you going there? I need...
자, 어느 쪽일지 잘 생각해보라고.
틈새 바로
Let's see. Got 2 people staggered. No, this is already not doing good. The thing is I don't want to be giving him buffs.
이래서는 범인이었던 지난날과 다를 바가 무엇인지 떠오르는 해가 부끄럽군요.
I'm so close. I'll wait for that one. I'm gonna finish up for today.